My name is Ross Spence.
Where are you from, Ross?
I'm from Oxnard, California. I was raised in Oxnard and raised in Compton, California.
Compton.
Spent time in both areas growing up. So
Nice.
I've been to the Dominican Republic 3 times. This is my 3rd time. First time in Sosua. The first time I came to Dominican Republic, I was in Punta Cana the first 2 times. And this is my first time in Sosua.
How do you like Sosua?
How do I like Sosua? It's way, way better than being on a resort in Punta Cana. I like the community. From where I'm at in Chetamicos, to be able to walk across the beach every morning and go to class and then go to the gym, or go to the gym and then go to class. I'm kind of getting the lay of the land, even though I'm keeping my footprint kind of concentrated at the moment, you know, just to get a better lay of the land and comfortable with, you know, whether it's going to the bank or walking around the area of Chetamicos or going to the bank. So now I feel like real comfortable with that, to the point where I can say, okay, now I'm going out to Puerto Plata, or I'm going out to Cabarete. So I think that's what it's kind of giving me, like a home base. So now I'm ready to springboard out and see some other things. So
Nice. I just want to show them where you're living right now.
right up on the coast, I just jump in the water and climb up the rocks, and I'm right there.
Now, what are you doing in school? You mentioned school.
Yeah, well, I'm at the Caribe Intercultural Institute, and it's a Spanish language institute. So I'm taking small group classes and individual tutoring there to kind of build a foundation for Spanish, and I feel like I'm doing well at it, actually. You know, I feel like I'm reading better, definitely writing and reading better. Now the language, the part of communication is coming along, and so things are starting to slow down for me. When people are talking to me, I understand a little bit better and I'm able to respond. And I think it'll get better, and it's something I want to build upon once I get back home, whether I end up taking online from the Institute or online from a tutor here, or if I continue on and take classes at community college. Definitely something I'm going to continue with.
Right. Now, what are you doing here in the Dominican Republic?
Well, back in 2017, my mom passed away. Okay. My mother passed away back in 2017, and during the time that I was taking care of her during her hospice, she said, Ross, when all of this is done and I'm gone, I want you to take a vacation. And vacation was the last thing on my mind, you know, caring for my mother and dealing with everything that was going on with her. And she said, well, where do you want to go? And I just said, I had heard some people had been to Punta Cana, and I said, okay, Punta Cana, right? And then she said, okay, well, when I'm gone, I want you to put that in motion. And so to honor her words and her wishes, we decided to come to Punta Cana. There was a crew of us, my stepmom, my wife, my 3 kids, my wife's sister, her son, one of my friends from a good close friend of mine, Curtis from home, and his wife. And then we met people on the resort, so it became like one big gang on the resort. It was a good experience. I think we were here 7 or 8 days, and so 2 or 3 days of laying around the pool was cool, and having drinks and kind of being herded to the little dinners and stuff that they have on the resort was cool. But after that, I really knew that, hey, you know what? I like the resort, but it's not everything. And I wanted to have a more a down-home bohemian feel of a community that I'm getting here in Chetamicos. And I kind of, out of watching your videos, that's why I decided to come here, actually, because I had met a good friend of mine, Miguel, and he's in Punta Cana, and he lives out of Santo Domingo. And I was gonna do some language acquisition with him and his brother. They have an organization or a business in Santo Domingo, but with everything with the COVID and the shutdown, and then things slowly started going back, the timetable didn't work with me. And I knew I still wanted to come. As a matter of fact, I had applied for a sabbatical from the college. I work at the community college. I'm a counselor and a personal development professor. And I applied for a sabbatical for spring of 2022. And I had planned to be in Santo Domingo, but with the shutdown and then the start up, it didn't really start as I thought it would, and I needed to make a decision on where I was gonna be. And I wanted to be able to say that I had so many weeks, you know, under my belt of taking Spanish courses, of experiencing the community, getting out and doing things like that. And so I decided to come to Sosua, and I've been here since February, and I'll be leaving in April. And so far it's been a wonderful experience. You know, if I was to advise anybody else to do it, whether you're coming on sabbatical or whether you're coming on vacation, I think the Sosua Puerto Plata Cabarete area is nice. It's real nice. And so
Where do you stay?
I stay in Charamicos. So is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I stay in Charamicos, which is across the playa from Sosua. So, I mean, I guess it's actually still considered Sosua, but it's the community of Charamicos, and it's pretty much a Dominican community. And so,
Not a tourist.
yeah, it's not a turista area.
Right.
So you can eat all week and still have some pesos left in your pocket, but that's another story. But
Tell
you know,
them that story in a minute.
yeah, well, you know, you're living in the community, and so people don't spend the type of money for rent, for food, for other resources that you would on the other side, where there's a lot of Americans and Germans and Russians and other people. It's more of an international community across the water. So when you head to Charamicos, it's mainly a Dominican population, some Haitian, and it's real community. And so
And do you feel safe?
I feel very safe. I mean, of course, I don't run the streets at 2 and 3 in the morning, because, you know, like your mom said, after 12 o'clock ain't nothing open but jail cells and legs, and I ain't trying to be in neither one of them. So, you know, usually in the evening, Ross is shutting it down, going over his homework, watching a little Netflix, and watching a little bit of Netflix, going over my Spanish work, checking in at the crib, and basically that's how my evenings go. It's been cool, it's been safe, it's been fun. People are real cordial, happy to have you there, and it's a safe community, you know.
Do you, what's your daily schedule like?
Well, my daily schedule is to get up in the morning and beat them Dominican women to the gym, because they suck up everything. So, and I get up at 5:30 in the morning. Usually I'll sweep and get my stuff in order for the day, and I usually sweep because I always find a lot of sand in the house from the day before, because I'm always walking across the playa. And so I'll get up early, get myself together, and then I make it to the gym. And then after the gym, I'll head to breakfast. I have my 3 little Haitian chicas, little sweethearts that I buy my mangoes and bananas and avocados from, so I'll keep them in the house. And so I see them, and I'll hang out and have breakfast, and then I'll head back, take a shower, and then I'll head to class with my instructor, Victor, for about an hour and 30, hour and 40 minutes of instruction. And then on some days I have group sessions in the morning at like 11. But for the most part, most of my time is spent with Victor. And then in the evenings, 4 days a week, I have Gustavo come through and kind of work with me with the basics. So having Gustavo come by the apartment And then having Victor and the Intercultural Center is really, created an immersion program for me where I'm doing Spanish most of the day. Now the challenge for me is to get out and not be as bashful and use it and make the mistakes in public, So I think I had a couple of waitresses laugh at me already, but that's okay. I went to the market, instead of ordering taco de res, I said taco de vaca, which is cow. And the girl looked at me and was like, huh? Like, we don't serve no cows here now. If you want some beef. So, yeah.
Tell them.
Res is actually beef. So if you're going to order something, you want res.
Right.
But you can't really order a cow, which is vaca. All right. So I went in there and said vaca, and she looked at me and didn't want to laugh in my face. But that was cool. I'm trying to learn, so I thought it was funny too. But, so it's those types of experiences of being able to get out. Those type of experiences you don't get on the resort. And so this is the type of experience I wanted to get, something that was more communal, something that was more down home, something that, would leave an indelible mark on me being here in this country, something that I'll take back home and build upon. It was kind of, I was concerned leaving at first, because I don't think I've ever been anywhere this long without somebody. You see what I'm saying? In college, I had roommates. When I graduated from college, I had roommates. Then I met my wife and I got married. So I hadn't really been out I wouldn't say be out the house, but I hadn't been, this long with just being on my own. But by nature, I'm more introverted, so it doesn't really bother me to be alone. And I think at nights I get a little lonely. Misha, if you hear me. But other than that, I've been keeping myself busy through the day, And the motor conch people have been cool. The moto conchos.
Tell them what a moto concho
Yeah, moto concho is a cat who is earning a living by hustling you to and fro. And on a motorbike, on a motorcycle, a moped, a soul, whatever they're driving. And they get you across town anywhere you want to go. And try and use it for short distances, because them brothers would tell you they could take you to Santo Domingo to make that money. And that ain't probably what you want to do. So you got to be careful. But everybody's been cool. People have asked me, like, is it safe, or, how do you feel? And I've never, ever felt threatened. Of course, I don't walk the beach at 1 o'clock at night by myself. But in Cheramicos, to head to the Camal or the Camado, or the chicken. I go down to the chicken place at like 8:39 to go and buy some chicken. And of course, like I said, when in Cheramicos, you down home, food is a lot more reasonable. So I go down there, I tell the brother, I told him, I said, tengo pollo solo. I only want chicken, right? Because I have my veggies at home in the refrigerator. And I get like 5 or 6 pieces of chicken for 200 pesos, which is probably like about $4 or $5. You're not getting that at Popeyes,
Right,
and so that'll last me a few days, and I have my veggies. So I'm kind of getting my little niche of how I do my daily stuff without spending a lot of money, and that's part of the experience too. Going down to the chicken place, meeting some of the Haitian brothers that's in line, waiting for dinner. Waiting for some food after they've worked it, either here on the playa or doing construction, whatever they do. Met some of those guys in line, and those are pretty amazing people, speaking French, Creole, English, Spanish, speaking like 4 and 5 languages. And so that's been part of the experience too.
Right here, we're talking.
Ah.
Todo bien.
Yeah.
So now that you're here, will you come back?
I definitely gonna plan to come back. I may come back in the summer, provided what my summer schedule looks like at the college, and then what my youngest son is doing in Montana, because I want to catch up with him. And so I would like to come back. I'm definitely gonna keep on with my Spanish. There's been a couple of brothers I ran into that actually, repatriate or expats that come,
Expatriates.
yeah, expatriates that come to come to the DR, come to the Dominican Republic to have a different experience and start a new life. You know, I met a brother from Riverside who said he was paying so much money just to live in the desert of California, and now he's in Puerto Plata, living in the, I wouldn't say beachfront, but he definitely has a view of the Atlantic Ocean, and he for sure would not have a view of the Pacific Ocean in California on the budget that he was on. So it just gives you an alternative way of living. So you're not really just stuck in one way and this is how it is. You can break out of what's set before you and have different experiences that you create for yourself. And so I was, you know, real cool to hear that cat's story and hear his narrative and figure out, you know, okay, is Ross gonna buy property out here? Is this his retirement spot? You know, who knows? It's all up in the air. But it's definitely doable. It's definitely worth considering. So, how did I get to Los Chatamicos? Well, mind you, this is my third apartment in 1 month. So, you know, but they've all been Chatamicos, and part of that is influence of Cerise. And I had seen Cerise on YouTube, and I thought some of her videos were pretty intriguing, pretty informative. And once I figured out that the Institute, the Intercultural, the IIC Institute in Sosua, I could have gone to Santo Domingo because they have a branch in Santo Domingo and they have a branch here in Sosua. But from Cerise's videos, I felt like I had more of a connection because my buddy who was in Santo Domingo, you know, real educated, language prolific fella, speaks 5 or 6 languages, but he was very, very busy. And then he wanted me to start in late March. And so then I was thinking like, wow, after seeing Cerise's videos, I felt like I had a friend or I knew somebody where I was going, so I didn't feel like I was going there by myself. And then when we had the conversation on the phone, when we had our first consultation, I was like, okay, I'm definitely going to Sosua. I feel like I have somebody who will, you know, guide me the right way, who knows what they're doing, who's been there, who's someone who's from another country, from Canada, you know, albeit not the US, but still having to come and make that adjustment herself in relation to adjusting to the community, adjusting to the people, the environment, and all that. So I felt like, okay, she's my ace in the hole right there. And so from our conversation, I knew that Sosua was more of a turista type of area. And I said, well, you know, it's cool, but I still want to be somewhere where I feel I'm part of a community, where I feel comfortable. And the funny thing is that when people were like, well, you're going to Chatamicos, is that the hood? Are you going to feel safe and all this? And I'm like, man, I mean, I grew up in the, I'm not going to say I grew up in the hood because I don't want people to take that with a stereotypical connotation, because I did grow up in Compton, California, and there are things that happen there that everybody hears about on the news, whether it's CNN or a rap record or whatever means by which you get it. But then at the same time, I would say in the spirit of Cerise, you got people in the hood that look after you, you know. So I could always remember, and I always tell this story when people ask me about growing up in Compton. Oh, well, was it rough? Was it that? And I said, no, I had people who looked after me. I had Miss Peggy across the street, who I stayed with when my mom was at school. I had Miss Allen next door. I had Mr. Matthews take me to football practice. Those are the people that bring the neighbor into hood. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just a hood, it's truly a neighborhood. And I felt like that's what Cerise bought for me here in Chatamicos, because people are thinking, oh, you're going to the hood, but now I got a neighbor. I got a neighbor, Cerise. Matter of fact, we stay in the same building, you know? And so in the spirit of Miss Allen, the spirit of Peggy, the spirit of Mr. Matthews, I have somebody who's looking out for me and I trusted her, and I got that vibe from our conversations where I felt like, okay, this is where I'm gonna be, and I felt comfortable. Even during the transition from the issues with the first apartment to being in the second apartment. The second apartment was like a penthouse. I didn't want to leave that one, but you know, Ross is on a budget, so we had to go and think of what our alternative move would be, and that's fine too. But through the whole process, I felt informed, I felt supported, I felt safe, which was real big things for not only me, but then my family too. Because I mean, I'm leaving people at home. My wife's at home, my daughter's there, my sons are in contact with me, wondering how I'm doing, how's it going, and things of that nature. So it's not all about just me feeling safe and secure. It's about people who are worrying about me, that care about me, that feel like I'm in a position where I'm safe, I'm secure, I have a community around me that supports me. And I mean, just getting up and crossing the street in the morning and going over to Jose Luis's spot and sitting on the porch and talking to a couple of expats or talking to Wowo, who's a Haitian guy, and just being a part of the community. When you get up in the morning, you have a different feel. Like, you don't feel like an outsider. You don't feel like you gotta watch your back. You're starting to meet people, you're starting to know people, and then you find out that the community is a lot smaller than you think it is, because now people know you and people are watching out for you and they know who you are. And I bump into people at the ATM in Sosua who are from Chattamico and be like, hey, I seen you walking the street. You know, or like the Haitian guy who now calls me neighbor because he seen me over in Chattamico's and he said, hey, are you lost? I was like, nah, man, I live with the people. And he was like, oh, okay, we neighbors now. I said, there we go. And so now when I see him on the playa, he always calls me neighbor. So.
I love that. Give some advice to people coming here.
I would say be patient with yourself. Keep your expectations broad, because when you come to other places, things happen, whether it's with the housing or transportation or communicating with people. You just got to put it within yourself to be patient, you know, and believe me, the vibe of the island is going to make you be patient, because the reality is it's island living. And so you don't have that LA, California rush, you know. You don't have the LA or California rush, and people are, you know, they're on island time. And so you can't change the time. You only can get with the time. And so that tells you right there that you need to be patient, and in that patience, kind of just take in and inhale and exhale what's going on, and you'll find out that you're doing okay and they're doing okay, and it's going to be a good time. So I would just say be patient with yourself. Don't overly concern yourself with your expectations, and don't overly concern yourself with your fears. I would say, of course, you know, you do want to, you know, you don't want to come here and make everybody your friend. You know, you want to be able to have some barriers, some guards, but not overly. And you want to be safe, but then you still want to be a part of the community and part of the experience. And so if you were to come here per se, I would just say, you know, just enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. All right. Say your name again.
Ross Fonts, Oxnard, California.
All right. Cheers. And whatever you want to say goodbye.
Oh, hasta luego.
Hey guys, I'm Cerise. Thank you so much for joining me. When you are in the Sosua Cabarete or Puerto Plata area, don't forget to watch my Living Good program. You can catch it on Channel 3 with Costa Norte, local television. We talk about real estate, relocation, and news. If you're interested in relocating or coming here, short-term, long-term, I can help you out with an apartment or with airport pickup drop-off. even a tour, you just let me know. My email address is below, as well as my telephone number. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Huge hugs.
Oh, let the love shine. Oh, let the